Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pamela, and on today's video I am going to be sharing with you all my plant of the month for the month of September or August? Gosh, I don't remember what month this for August. I am going to be sharing with you all my plant of the month for the month of August. So if you're interested in knowing what plant I am highlighting for the month of August, then keep on watching. So welcome back everybody. Alright, August has been honestly such a monumental month for me. So many amazing things has happened to me in this month. August is also, was also my birthday month. I turned 27 on the 27th, which is considered to be my golden year, which is when you turn the age of the day that you're born. So 27 on the 27th, 2020 was my golden year, is my golden year. And the plant that I definitely want to highlight for this month has to be one of my favorite, if not my favorite plant that I have in my collection. It's not my favorite, it's one of the top favorites. It is my Hoya Polyneura Brogette. And you're probably like, oh Pamela, what the hell is a Hoya Polyneura Brogette?
Settle please. Tyrell, Patty, please.
The Brogette is just fancy for the variegated form of the Hoya Polyneura. If you can see the increase in white speckling in variegation of this plant compared to a just solid green, or let's see if I can show you better. Instead of just like a solid green leaf, the Brogette has more of a silver variegated just coloring to it, which I am absolutely obsessed and in love with. So how I ended up actually coming across this plant was through Facebook. It was on a random Facebook plant group. Just randomly one day I was talking to one of my planting friends, and I'm on Facebook and I seen this posting. I believe it was a posting for plants. You know, people were like, oh, show me what you have, you know, plants available. And this particular seller went ahead and just posted this plant, and I messaged the seller within the comment section, hey, if like OP passes, I'm interested. Seller DM'd me and said OP passed, here's the price, are you interested? So I went back to my plant friend and I'm like, what do you think? Is this worth it? I believe at the time it was just maybe like a total of like 4 leaves. So this is like the mother plant. It was just like this, and maybe like 2 leaves that are no longer on here. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna go ahead and get it. And then the seller also decided to give me a little bit of a discount because they mentioned that the plant wasn't as variegated as they wanted it to be. So sorry for the inconvenience, I'll give you like a couple more dollars off. I went ahead and was just like, heck yeah, go ahead and do it. I purchased it. The seller went ahead and sent me this beautiful plant and a bonus cutting. What I'm gonna do is link above right now and also in the description box below the original unboxing for this plant. I think you all should go ahead and look at it if you're interested in just knowing what this plant originally looked like when I first purchased it. But since then, this Hoya Polyneura has just blossomed, has gone crazy, has bloomed like a mad person, and has given me multiple vines. This is just what I'm just so happy and loving about these plants, is that you buy something small at an affordable price and it just blooms for you. It just grows for you. You don't have to buy something that is so tiny at a stupid fucking price.
Gasp.
And it dies on you. No. I'm even more excited because I managed to get this plant, which is, I would say, not a very common plant. I don't think this plant is very common within like the plant community, within the plant market, but I did manage to obtain it, come across it, and it's pushed out for me since I purchased it. Again, this was just like 2 leaves, I think maybe like, sorry, it was like 4 leaf, 2 node cutting, but just like full within this exact pot of this plant, and it's now giving me 5 vines, and it's like just like continuing to grow. Hey, if you're still watching this video, please go ahead and give it a like. Any sort of engagement that you do with my videos really helps my channel out. So thumbsing it up, commenting, sharing, all of that is really appreciated. So if you're enjoying my plant of the month for the month of August, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And again, like I said, share, like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz. And let's get back to that Hoya Polyneura Brogет. So you're probably wondering, hey Pam, what are some of your care tips for this plant? Well, luckily for me, the seller did send this little situation with care information on it, and it pretty much just says temperature 50 to 70, needs, it's like really blurry, it's like impossible, but again, I will link this video down, and I did state everything that was on this little card. But this says 50 to 70 needs, cool nights to bloom, humidity 60 to 80, watering better something but not too wet, better wetter, fertilize once a week, and something in the winter. Anyways, I'm not gonna continue. So you're probably wondering, Pam, what is your like care tips for this plant? I've been growing this plant from the spring to summer to now fall, and this is all the growth that I've gotten within those seasons. My plant, like the direction recommended, is to keep this plant on the moisture side. Once this plant goes a little bit too dry, I've noticed that it starts developing yellow leaves. So as you can see, something like this, something like these, are caused by just underwatering, or just this going a little too dry. This for me is something that wouldn't mind living with extra water like at the bottom of it. This plant does not like to dry out at all, and I do not let this plant dry out. If it does dry out, I notice immediate problems with this plant, and problems for me would just be the yellowing of the leaves, yellowing of the foliage, like so. So watering wise, in the summertime I try to water this plant 2 or 3 times a week at least. I do not do once a week. This plant will dry out too much because I keep my plant in an east facing window. It dries out too much and I will lose leaves. I have lost the 2 original leaves on here, so I only have these last 2, which are the 2 originals that were on here also. I did lose the 2 lower ones on this plant, but that's okay because I can see this plant is continuing to just grow and bloom and blossom for me. So watering this plant, like I said, likes a more moister soil. Lighting wise, I have this plant on my east facing window, so it gets that bright indirect morning light, and then that light diffuses throughout the day. So I'm not sure what to tell you all if you want to use a grow light, but just if you're interested, try to figure out, okay, I have a northeast facing window and my plant gets that sort of lighting throughout the day. So see how you should set your plant light in regards to applying that sort of a lighting, you know, environment for your plants. Also, soil mix. I have not changed the soil mix, but as someone who knows about plants, if I know my plant does not like to dry out, I would not recommend a well-draining soil. I would recommend obviously a moisture-loving soil, something that could hold your plant, the roots of your plant, more moist than dry. So a good mix between maybe peat and a little bit of perlite would be good for you, or peat and a little bit of orchid mixed with perlite, but try to keep it higher on the peaty, soily mix versus something that is just more perlite and barky and well draining. Again, like I mentioned, this plant, if it gets drier than it wants to be, it will start showing you on the foliage that it does not like being too dry, and you will start getting yellowing and browning of the tips, and eventually you will end up losing that entire leaf. So keep the soil, the substrate mix moisture loving. And lighting, I've mentioned already, I keep my plant in my northeast facing windows. All of my windows in my apartment are northeast facing, so every single plant that is by a window, whether it's close, further away, all the light in my home is northeast facing, so I have no choice, I have no control over that. Some plants I supplement with grow lights, but this particular plant just gets northeast facing light every single day from the day that I've purchased it. In regards to fertilizing, I see that this plant responds really well to some sort of orchid fertilizer. I will have it down in the description box below, the orchid fertilizer that I recommend. You can definitely use orchid fertilizer to fertilize your Hoyas. This Hoya Polyneura, I noticed, has responded positively to orchid fertilizer. So again, like I said, I will link that below. I also water weekly with liquid dirt, just fertilizer. So if you're interested in using the liquid dirt fertilizer, you can actually use my name, PamellaPierre, PamellaPierre, on liquiddirt.com to receive 25% off of your $20 order. And I use that liquid dirt mix every single time I water my plants. So if water goes into my plants, it's mixed with liquid dirt. I try my best not to just use plain water. I try to provide my plants with as much nutrients as I can. So this plant, like I mentioned, I water 2 or 3 times a week depending on how cool that week is with the liquid dirt water. But prior to that, most of this growth was, you know, without any liquid dirt fertilizer. It was just with plain water with Super Thrive, which I also use in my water, and the orchid fertilizer, which I just missed the foliage with. And that has really done so much for my plants. But right now, for the last about month now, I've been using liquid dirt just completely on all my plants, and I've seen a positive response. So I wouldn't recommend to you all something that I don't personally use on my own thing. So if you're interested in trying the liquid dirt fertilizer, you can use my code PamellaPierre, which is my name, again on liquiddirt.com for your $20 or more purchase to receive 25% off. But I think this is all I want to say about this plant. It's really just so non-fussy. It's really beautiful, and it just grows and it just grows. So everybody, thank you so much for watching this month's plant of the month featuring my Hoya Polyneura Brogет. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and sharing. Subscribe if you aren't already. Join this little cookie family because we're pretty awesome here. Be part of the HauzPlant community, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified every single time I upload a new video. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's get growing. Bye.